Hey, welcome everybody. This is John Paul, Dr. Speed. Son, this is Raging Verbalist number 313 if you're keeping track. Why wouldn't you be? We show up every Friday, YouTube, and also on Facebook. The Facebook group is Position to Win Book, Position to Win Book. Check us out there. So missed last week, was sick. Just, one of those, got the holiday, whatever it is that was going around. So luckily it wasn't too serious. So don't dive in too much to politics, though that's going to change in 26. So that'll be something to look forward to if you want. I mean, just things that just scream out to me that say, you gotta get smarter about this stuff. So, well, today we're going to talk a little bit about AI. AI has been a super hot topic, as everybody knows, and it appears that everybody thinks that they actually know something about it. And I really believe that we're dealing with two factors at the same time, because as I talk to people, especially trying to help them out in our business, which is GoVamonos.ai, where we actually help clients get solutions and get things done with AI instead of talking about it. Have run into what I call this arrogance of ignorance, and these things are intertwined, and essentially arrogance and ignorance are distinct, but unfortunately they kind of get glued together. And here's how it taps out, or here's how it works out. So arrogance is an inflated sense of one's own importance, that hey, I'm the top of the heap. I'm the best thing there is, and all of that. Got it. But arrogance is when you have a lack of knowledge and understanding, and when those two get together, well, it creates a situation that I'm seeing today, especially with those people who are trying to use AI. First off, is that it's a barrier to becoming better. Now, if you want to be competent at anything, there are four levels and actually one step in the middle. And we all start by being unconsciously incompetent. We don't know what we don't know, and we don't know it. And what we then become is consciously incompetent, which is we become aware of what we don't know. See, this is where the arrogance and the ignorance kind of barriers us out and stops us from getting to where we want to go, because people say, well, John, I got it. No. See, people think they know something they don't know. So they're not even aware. They really are still unconsciously incompetent. We want to get to consciously incompetent, so at least that way we can work our way forward. Now, the standard way of saying it is that we would skip over to becoming the next step, but I actually have what I call the chasm. And the chasm is where you have to take this consciously incompetent and then build a bridge across the chasm to get to the other side. And the chasm can be wide, it can be deep, because let's face it, there's a difference between training and learning how to do something, right? You don't inherently know how to do really anything when you start off. But for some reason, people think with AI, John, I don't need no stinking training. I don't need to actually work at it. I just go out there and, everybody tells me it's so simple. There's no code to learn. That's, sorry to tell you, that's not true. But if you make it across the chasm, which would be a good thing, then what you do is you make it to where you are consciously competent. That means that you have to think seriously through everything that you do. Now, some people get to a level of proficiency, of mastery, and they get even further by being unconsciously competent. And these are the top 1, 2, 4% of the population who become really good at something. Just being consciously competent means that we're thinking our way through and we're getting the right results. And that's important, because the chasm is in developing the skills that you need to become successful in this. Because to truly improve and actually utilize AI, I can tell you some very simple, direct things that you need to start doing. First off, you need to think in terms of systems. It's not enough to say, well, all right, I want it to improve my email writing. Great. Okay, learn how to make better emails. Doesn't mean that you are going to go with the word vomits that come out of AI, because most of that stuff is like, oh, just too many words, because AI is trying to tell you, okay, you want more? We'll give you more. More is not better. Effective communication is precision of language. So you got to think systems, you have to think process, you have to think workflows. All of those are separate things, and all of those require you to become better at what you're doing. If you really want to improve with AI, which I would not recommend, I would say the world is going to demand, then you have to get serious about those three areas: systems, process, and workflows. And by the way, one of the things is that if you don't want to be losing out in the world, is that you might consider picking up my book. Most businesses fail in their first 5 minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it. Position to Win. Fantastic book. I'm biased, of course, but it's one of those things that we talk about how to position yourself. AI is not going to eliminate any of that. In fact, it's going to mean that you have to work harder to stand out from the crowd, because authenticity is going to be at an extreme shortage. So go check that out. You can get it at positiontowinbook.com, positiontowinbook.com. You can also get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million for the physical. You can get it as an ebook. You can get it as a Kindle, a Nook, and an Apple iBook. So go check that out, and hopefully you won't be one of those people who are in the failure column. Remember, most businesses fail. It just takes them a while to figure it out. Now, what you really want to do to be successful, and let me give you something actionable, right? Because I got to give you something you can do, is that you need to find something that's simple, that's repetitive, that is a task that you can do and that you know how to do. I want you to be consciously competent in what you're trying to do. If I ask you to map out your sales process, and I used to use this all the time as what I would call my stumper question, people would go, well, what do you mean? And because John, there's so many dependencies and variables and this or that. Not saying that there aren't those things, but you can't solve for every single corner case when you're mapping things out. You have to map out what you can map out and move that forward and move that along. So let's talk about that for just a brief second. Let's take something that you really know, and we want a task that you do over and over and over again. By the way, if you don't know keyboard shortcuts, here's a quick bonus. You should definitely be studying keyboard shortcuts and improving your productivity with that. If you don't know that, trying to find some miracle thing with AI, well, you're wasting time. By the way, Mac, PC, I don't know about Linux, but Macs and PCs have lots of keyboard shortcuts. Spend a little bit of time every week to learn a new one. Yeah. As far as I know, when I asked, again, this is where you go to AI. When I asked, tell me about the keyboard shortcuts that exist for Windows, 73 was the list. I don't know all 73, but I know a lot more of them. Boy, has it made my life easier. But back to our thing, find a task that you can hammer out that you are consciously competent on, almost unconsciously competent. Unconsciously competent makes it tougher because you may not even know the steps you're doing. Take that and turn that into a repeatable agent that can work when you don't need to, and then you can launch it. That's why we need to learn keyboard shortcuts, so we can launch it with just one little stroke of a keyboard, and bang, it does what it's supposed to do. If you do that, then you will be in better shape, and you will be coming back to me saying, John, that's a great thing. Send me a comment about how you use this, because you want to fight the human trait of being both arrogant and ignorant at the same time. And believe it or not, there's a lot of those people. And with that, I'm going to just wrap it up by saying AI is going to be an amazing tool, a great bit of leverage for those who know how to use it. And for the vast majority, they're going to be middling at best. And if you want to know why I can make that pronouncement with such strength and belief, it's because, well, I can tell you without a doubt, that most people don't even get close to utilizing the tools and technology they have at hand right now, because they never learned the techniques and how to implement them and use them to a high level of capability, competency, and proficiency. And with that, I'm John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Selling. It's been the Raging Verbalist, and we'll see you on the next Raging Verbalist.